You know that moment when you look up at the sky and think, I wonder if there's anyone out there? So it is. In 2015, NASA looked at a tiny star 1,400 light-years from Earth and said, we found a cousin of Earth, and named it Kepler-452b. But what nobody told us is that this planet has a history. Not the kind you read about in science books, but one of those that sends shivers down your spine. A story in 3 parts, full of silence, mystery, and a civilization that perhaps knew us before we knew how to walk upright. Want to know what happened there? So sit down, because here comes a story. Part 1. The Awakening of Silence. Imagine a planet that has lived in absolute silence for billions of years. No car horns, no shouting, no neighbors drilling holes in walls on Sunday mornings. Just the sound of the wind cutting through blue stone mountains and oceans that glow at night. That's Kepler-452b. A beautiful planet, with forests that light up like fireflies and skies with 3 moons dancing slowly. There, at the bottom of a sea that looked like a liquid mirror, the Yolari were born. They were creatures unlike anything we know, mouthless, soundless, but full of light. They talked by blinking, changing color, like fireflies with Wi-Fi. And look, these creatures weren't just cute, they were intelligent. So intelligent that they mastered physics before even the invention of a ladder. But there's one detail: they never tried to leave the planet. Not for lack of technology, but by choice. They knew they weren't alone in the universe. They just thought the rest of the cosmos wasn't ready yet. So they stayed there, watching the stars as if they were waiting for someone. Like when you know your guest is going to be late, but you still tidy up the living room. And it was in this expectant silence that the story began. Because one day, something changed in the sky of Kepler-452b. Part 2. The Eye of Heaven. It was on any given night, or what would be night there, that the Yolari saw something different flashing in the sky. It was not a star, nor a comet, nor a cosmic bug. It was a subtle but rhythmic glow. As if someone far away was waving. And they were. It was Earth. More specifically, our satellites and transmissions leaking into space since the 1900s or so. We had screamed to the universe without knowing that anyone was listening. The Yolari, with all their calm and alien wisdom, stopped everything. The laboratory forests shut down. The floating cities landed. The entire planet went silent, like someone holding their breath before opening a letter. Because they knew, this was the first real sign of another civilization. And it came from a noisy, hot, disorganized, but curious planet. A planet called Earth. In the Yolari Central Council, which of course was not a room with a round table, but a living network of pulsating light that spanned the planet, debates began. Are they ready? Should we respond? What if they are like the Arithos? No one ever knew who the Arithos were, but just mentioning them sent shivers down the spines of the older generation. In the end, they decided to wait. To watch. Not out of fear, but out of caution. Like when you see a baby fiddling with an electrical outlet. Curious? Yes. Cute? Maybe. But safe? Not even close. And so while on Earth we celebrated the discovery of a planet similar to ours, the Yolari watched our every step as if watching an intergalactic reality show, with hope, pity, and a hint of this is going to go badly. Part 3. The Last Transmission. Time passed. While here on Earth we fought for likes, invented the fad of eating soap capsules, and launched rockets just to take pretty pictures of space, the Yolari disappeared. No one knows exactly when or how, but one day, all the signals stopped. The lights of Kepler-452b, which had previously blinked calmly like a living city, simply went out. And the planet returned to its former silence. Deeper. Sadder. As if it had gone back to sleep. It wasn't until 2084 that humanity managed to get there. A manned mission, with a fancy name and smiling astronauts for the photo. Everyone was excited, thinking they were going to make contact with an advanced civilization. Spoiler, that's not exactly what they found. Kepler-452b was still beautiful. But it was empty. The bioluminescent forests still glowed, but without rhythm. The cities, if you could call them cities, were intact, but there was no one there. Not a single bright soul. Nothing. Just perfect structures, abandoned as if the planet had been evacuated in a hurry. Like that decorated apartment that no one has ever lived in. That's when they found the artifact. A small semi-crystalline structure in the middle of a clearing that seemed to have been made just for it. When they activated it, it glowed one last time. It emitted a low frequency. And a clear message, translated with the help of all the artificial intelligences on Earth, and a linguist who swore he cried when he heard it. We are too early for you. But too late for us. Don't make the same mistakes. Yulari. Silence. No details. No explanation. Just a warning and the certainty that, at some point, the Yulari decided that waiting no longer made sense. Maybe they've left. Maybe they destroyed themselves. Maybe they just gave up on us. Today, Kepler-452b is studied, mapped, even explored, but never again inhabited. Scientists call it the silent planet. But those who have been there know that silence has weight. It has history. It has regret. And maybe, just maybe, a last hope that we can still do things differently. So that's today's video. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. See you in the next story.